In a quiet village nestled between misty mountains, there was an old legend whispered among the elders. It was said that on stormy nights, a woman in a tattered kimono would appear near the bridge, cradling a bundle in her arms. She was known as Ubume, the spirit of a mother who died in childbirth, forever searching for someone to care for her unborn child. Her name in life was Aiko, a kind woman who once lived at the edge of the village. She was known for her gentle smile, her love for the cherry blossoms, and the way she sang lullabies to her unborn child as she waited for its arrival. But fate was cruel. One winter night, a terrible storm struck the village. Aiko, heavy with child, felt the pains of labor as she struggled through the freezing wind, trying to reach the midwife's home. But she never made it. Her body was found the next morning, lying in the snow by the riverbank. The child had not survived. The villagers mourned her loss, but something was left unfinished. A mother's love does not die so easily. Since that night, travelers who passed near the river would sometimes hear soft cries in the darkness. If one was unfortunate enough to look, they would see her, a pale, sorrowful woman standing in the mist, holding a bundled cloth close to her chest. At first, she seemed harmless, even pitiful. Some say she would approach strangers, begging them to hold her child for just a moment. But those who accepted never returned home. One such case was Taro, a merchant returning from a distant town. He was exhausted from his journey when he heard the faint sound of a woman sobbing. Curious, he followed the sound to the bridge and saw her standing there, shivering in the rain. "Please," she whispered, her voice trembling. "My baby is so cold. Will you hold him for just a moment?" Taro hesitated, but the sorrow in her voice was unbearable. Slowly he reached out, touching the cloth. It was light, too light. And then the bundle unraveled. Inside, there was nothing but stones. Before he could react, a cold, clawed hand gripped his wrist. He looked up, and the woman's face had twisted into something inhuman. Her once sorrowful eyes were now hollow, her mouth stretching into an unnatural, blood-curdling smile. The last thing he saw was the river rushing beneath him as he was dragged screaming into the depths. The next morning, the villagers found only his sandals on the bridge. Since then, the warnings have never changed. If you hear a woman crying near the bridge at night, do not answer, do not look, keep walking, because Ubume still wanders, searching, waiting, and if you listen too closely, you might be next.